podcast gives an insider's look at sex education and mental health. Join us as we go behind the scenes of the sex industry and dive into the world of sex education by interviewing sex workers, entertainers, educators, and also those who want to discuss the latest research and trends in sexual health. Listen to us dive into the ways our mental health can be improved and or worsened from being sexually liberated. This podcast episode is about the Kinky Olympics event from the Sex Down South Conference in Atlanta, and my podcast offers a raw and unfiltered look at the realities of the sex industry, mental health, and the importance of sexual education. Hey y'all, it's Miss Darling, and today I'm bringing you part 2 of the Kinky Olympics podcast that was located at Sex Down South. In part 1, we talked about how the event made us feel and how it helped us discover new things about ourselves. This is part 2, where we will be mentioning other safe spaces and places that could be red flags as well. And we will also talk about improvements that we believe would help the event in the future. We have the same amazing guests from part 1, Vernon, Janae, Nicole, and Novocaine. Let's go.
Yeah, now, have you ever been to Jeju?
I have not. That is one I need to go to because I heard that the food is pretty decent and they're more of a real sauna too. So, and I feel like if I go there, I'm not trying to be engaged with nobody.
And
I'm here to
everyone's
relax.
They be focused on them. Like, it's all ages. They really focus on them.
hmm
From my experience, at least.
Yeah, that is on my list of things. And then next week I'm going to Tokyo's men only night. So that's going to be a little exciting. So, tightening up.
Nice. Period.
Hit before you get there.
Huh?
I said that Tokyo playlist is about to hit before you get there.
It is.
Mhm.
I literally just be in Tokyo, shaking my ass and singing. But
Is Tokyo like a club? But I don't know.
so
I'm not out of town, so I don't know. They're like, what you
Tokyo.
talking about? You going to
So
Tokyo? I
this
used
is
to live
like
in that, so that's why I was like, what?
Yeah. I'm like, dang, you flying everywhere. Let me.
So it's a place called Tokyo Valentino, and one of their locations has a lifestyle club, and that's for people who, if you want to engage in kinks, you can. They have dark rooms, play area at the top, a dance floor. They got a lot of things going on, but most people just go there to either get head, have sex, participate in kink stuff, and all that.
I have some shade.
Ooh, throw the shade. I love it.
I've been to Tokyo multiple times, and it's 100% more for a male seeking a male, 100%. And then also, if you're a woman, you go alone, just know it is going to be very predatory. Like, it's kind of like people act like the amount they pay to get in is to have access to you. Like, as if you're like part of that, like $50, $80, $90 fee. Like, they'll just touch you. Like, and this, I've been like multiple times through years. Cause I ain't gonna lie. No, I did not like it. It was not, but I do like to be groped. But listen, that's neither here nor there. I did not ask. So, and if it was ugly, no. Okay.
And it's interesting because I tend to get a different perspective. Like whenever I go there, I tend to see dudes who are either looking for cis women or trans women, and the occasional guy who may be looking for other dudes, but usually they're just looking for oral, and that's just not my ministry. I don't go to that church. I just be like, do your thing. You find who's Nicole. I don't go to that church.
Games too, because they do got some beautiful meetings upstairs for sure. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about, or the dance floor area?
On the third floor, like I tell the dudes who be roaming around looking for women and everything, and I'm like, you will not find cis women in the dark room.
I mean.
Because I'm like, you don't know women. You do not talk to women because first and foremost, you're asking someone with a vagina to go into a dark area?
I'm gonna be for real. That's the main
Scary.
area I've had the worst. Like just literally like men crowding up and wouldn't even let me out. I'm like, listen, this went from groping to you trying to put yourself into me. Look, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I have a friend who works there. They just started working there, and they told me, so I've been there, but I've not been to the downstairs club.
Okay.
It's a lot of sex workers will use that space to like sort of as a space to get clients.
And that's true too.
So it's already an air of like, I pay money and we exchange, you know. So if you're just going just to go, it's a little like not, from what I've heard from like my trans women friends and my like male friends, it's like this is not really the place for like it's not exclusive at all, but or like they don't say don't come in, but it's kind of a vibe of like if you're not here to work, you know what I mean? It's I don't know, here to work or here to pay, like, you know.
When I think of sex club, that's what I think of when I think of sex club. Like kink, Sex Down South, Darkhaven, those were just like places where I don't know what the term is, but you know, it's like a sex positive, but it's safe because they
consent forward.
And the biggest part is that they actually vet. You know what I mean? Like in this place, I mean, because I'm not gonna lie, like even when I was at my lowest and had to do physical sex work or try to, I went down there and like it was crazy. So I went to the glory hole area, and I mean, yeah, there were mainly men. I had a lot going on in my mind. I'm like, you know, like this is something I feel like I have to do. You know, I need the money, but the dude. He didn't want to wear a condom for one, and then wanted me to do it for like $20 or something. I'm just like, look, I'm gonna keep it real. No, I'm gonna be homeless.
No.
Because I'm paranoid. Like I've tried to do prep before. I can't. It look like the moment I have sex and get a little chill, you know, a little just something. I'm just like, nah, I got it. I'm dying. I need to test it every day for the next 6 months. I'm not gonna not think about it. I just can't do it.
If Pearl Noir taught us anything, is that we don't settle for $50. We don't settle for
You said $20. I said, baby, this head is not worth no $20. Like, no, like my head is spectacular. Okay.
And this is no
my head is spectacular, not no $20, not even $50. Like you said, no, like you better. There needs to be at least 3 numbers for this head. I'm sorry, because I put in work. Because once again, I am a pleaser, so you can be very pleased. I don't snatch those for $100, baby. No.
Listen, from seeing on Twitter, people definitely, and this is no shade to them, but people will definitely. I've seen raw for $20, and I'm like, listen, I'm gonna keep it real. That's what freaks me out. Like, I'm like, you want me to, you don't even know me. You don't know my status. You haven't asked a single thing about me. You want me to do that raw? I can't imagine who else. And I'm freaking, no, because now I'm gonna have an apartment, but I'm gonna have some bills for some medicine that I don't want to take. I'm like, fuck it.
Listen, I feel you. Like, even for me, like, I wouldn't even be going to a place like Tokyo if I wasn't on all the things that I'm on. Like, first, if they did not make the injection version of PrEP, because I'm not a pill taker. I am not a person who's comfortable with regularly doing something every single day.
Or something happens.
Yeah, like give me my injection. I will toot it over, take it, and we'll keep on going. Like my booster today.
That was me with Depo with the birth control shot. Yeah, like pill. Excuse me.
Y'all strong. Give me a pill.
I have ADHD. I know I'm not gonna.
Not at all.
Because I'm not gonna lie, when I
freaky ass place.
It is. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, but it's
visit more.
I feel like if you visit, you just gotta go in a girl group. That's all I would say. Like, and I don't mean 2 people. Honestly, barely even 3. I really mean 4, like, or at least 3. I mean, but I'm just saying because it's like because of the ratio of men to women, you are going to be overpowered. And again, in this world, also, it doesn't matter if you scream help. It doesn't matter if you obviously are not interested. Like, that's why you have to, because I didn't want to believe in that shit either. Like, what do you mean I need to have someone with me? Like, I'm strong enough. And I was like, oh, hell no.
Like,
Denver, it's like the scene here is pretty. I mean, the black kink scene especially is like, I just go by myself. I'm like, hey y'all, like the same people, like everybody knows everybody. It's a small community here, so it's not the same, I think, as in Atlanta. It's a lot of people.
I mean, going on. It's mainly because of, like Novocaine said, I mean, it's an area where there are a lot of known sex workers too. So that's why they assume you are one. And again, full service and that you have no boundaries, basically. Like, how I picture it is it's kind of like the average Joe, just the average person just coming in there who wants to have sex, who feels freaky, but just not educated. They're not educated in consent, which is something you shouldn't even have to really try that hard on. But it's like, and Vernon, I'm not shitting on it 100%. Like, it was an experience, but it's just like, I had even met someone at SDS talking about how they had just they came from out of state, and they had an aggressive experience even with just their partner being there, like men trying to touch her, grab her, like offer money and stuff. And that's what would happen to me. I would just be dancing, chilling, and people are like, hey, let's get a room, blah, 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 money. And I'm like, nah, I'm cool. And they would get mad. And you're just like, this dude wanted to rub my feet. And I said, no. He was like, she won't even let me rub her feet. I was, bro, I know it's not that deep. Because what else do you want? What's next? Now my hand in my coochie. How did you?
Like, I even whenever I tell my cis women friends about Tokyo, and like, I was like, yeah, you could come along and everything, but I give a full tour, give a full expectation of what Tokyo is, what it can be like, how you can find insecure motherfuckers up in there. Ooh, language. You can find insecure people up in there. And like, even tell stories of what I've experienced. And then if you still want to come, because I'm going to do my little things. I want to make sure you're in a safe place and everything like that. I'm going to come back, check on you and all this other stuff. But it's like, here is like, if you're going to go to Tokyo, like you said, go with a group of female friends, or go with a partner who is able to keep that control. Do not go in the dark rooms unless you are fully comfortable with that, because a part of the dark room is people are going to touch. They're going to feel on you, right? And the interesting thing about it is that people behave a lot differently in the lit areas than they will in the dark areas. So if you want someone to be a lot more mannered, then you may have to be in those spaces where there's a lot more light. And if in doing so, you also have to think about how comfortable you are in that too. Right. So it's like so many layers to that damn place. Like,
I would just say it's more on the list of like places where you don't want it to be your first experience. You need to be someone who can advocate for yourself. Like, when I first went, I definitely wasn't. I was definitely more of definitely a people pleaser. Definitely someone who's still trying to figure out, how can I say no without offending someone? That matters to an extent when it comes to being a woman interacting with a man, but for the most part, you have to just ignore them, say straight up no. Like, you have to be able to like really set firm boundaries in, honestly, I would say any kink. Actually,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Has anyone had any like positive experiences with or a similar community like Sex Down South? Have you like found any space like that? Like Black?
I mean, I live in Phoenix, or well, the Phoenix area, right? Um, and I was introduced to a Black kink community here that's actually been really good. And I went to my first play party with them like back in January. And I still, and I still go, like they have events all the time. And, I like it because like it's a house that's like someone's actual house that's dedicated to this. They have a pool, huge backyard, lots of spaces, every room, it's got has a bed and dirty and clean linens and all kinds of stuff, and they try to have a theme every time they throw an event. But like that kink community is actually really good. They also have like a group chat on Telegram as well. So hey, we got this and this going on, or hey, let's share this, let's share that. So like different conversations for things. But that community to me, I feel has been really great because it allows you to not only like really get to know people in the community there, and of course invite more like-minded people, but you can also like make this connection with somebody. Like, okay, I get, like, you don't have to play today. Like, even though when you go in, you're wearing your red, green, or red, yellow, or green wristband, depending, but just because you have a wristband on, or just because you're there to play, doesn't mean that you have to. And a lot of times, a lot of people go and they don't play at all. They just go to meet somebody. Okay, let me meet you. Let me get to know you. Let me talk to you more. Especially face-to-face interactions are way different than just being on the phone type thing. And then if we want to play, like a lot of people I know, they don't even play there. They play outside of that, but they go there to just like communicate and meet people and just like have this sense of community with people. So for me, it's been really positive. And then the same thing with like in the chats and stuff, like being able to say, okay, well, who's this person? Well, I've never seen them at an event or anything. And they'll tell, a lot of people will tell you like, I'm busy, or I'm usually working, or I'm out of town. So I don't always go to one, but hey, you said that there's one coming up in 2 weeks. I'm going to be in town. Like, let me come to that. So being able to also like talk to people and talk to other people and be like, do you know who that is? Do you know who this person is? And they have their own vetting forms as well that you have to, like they send it to you, like whether it's on FetLife or like even when you get to the door, like they have you fill out the vetting form and everything first. And then, are you cool with telling people your status? When was the last time you got tested, XYZ? So, and they really make it an open, positive experience for you to ask other people, like, when's the last time you get tested? And same thing in the chats, like, hey, do you know of a good place to go get tested? Do you know a place that does like oral, anal, and vaginal swabbing? Do you know that? Like, it's really positive in that sense. So I really like the community here that they've built outside of just like the regular kink community that does have a lot of white people, that does make it a little bit weird, like people that look like you and are so positive, and they're just like, let's do these. I'm gonna do a vanilla event. Like we had somebody, well, one of my play partners who graduated from electrician school. I was like, hey, I want to have like just a quick little vanilla thing. Like I just had, I'm having my graduation at this time, but let's meet up at such and such a spot, and then after that, if we want to go do something, not so vanilla, let's do that. But just to be able to have that sense of community has been really great.
So is that kind of like a munch toward the end, what you were referencing? But it's not food relating, but like in relation to how it's just like a group, a meetup of individuals in the kink community, but you're not doing anything. You're just connecting.
Yeah. I mean, even though, because I mean, I still consider it much more like getting to know people that are in that community, where this was like everybody in the community already knew each other and they were like, let's just go hang out type thing.
So I've been in the Atlanta kink scene a long time, or rather, I have, a long time, because I was born here. This is like my home state, yada yada. There used to be the 1763. I don't know if it's like, wait, you moved here?
I did go to it. but it literally closed. Like I swear, right after.
So it was here a long time. That was like the kink club here, or as far as like they had a wet room, they had a doctor room, they had a little room, they had like they had everything, and it was membership only, and it was there was some drama here and there, but for the most part, it was like if you're not a member, you can't be here. And since they closed, there really hasn't been a decent replacement since, and that's upsetting. Just a place that's like strictly like regulated.
Just
yeah. So now the kink scene here is getting where you fit in, and it's always kind of been that way. I have been in many different pockets of Atlanta kink and Georgia kink when I lived in North Georgia. I've been in so many different pockets of just like munches over here and like meetups over there and like I was part of a private Facebook group back when Facebook didn't police everything. You could post nudes. There was a private group that I was in, and I met a lot of people through there, and they used to throw parties and to have different like naked events, like naked Thanksgiving and this and that and the third and whatever. And that eventually disbanded because drama and also Facebook. But then there was a munch I was going to last year called Melanin Munch that got disbanded. Again, like there's so much drama here.
That's what happened with Darkhaven.
Then I had met so many people who had really changed my life there, and they probably didn't even know it. Like in my first time going there, I had met the Naked Trumpeter, who helped me, who opened my eyes into what sex work really is regarding like the different forms and not just the stereotypical sense of it of what people think it is when people think it's just, full service prostitution or in-person things when it's reality, it's stripping, it's pole dancing, it's modeling, it's so many different things, it's cuddling, and being able to really free my shame that I had grew up with and that, regardless of me being forced into sex work when I was a child, or the negative narrations of purity culture and such from my toxic Christian family growing up, or even what I had to do regarding being a cam girl, to survive as an adult when dealing with hardship, or me even just choosing to do sex work and actually enjoying the types that I do. And I had never been to a area like that where there were so many LGBT people who were Black and so many openly trans people who I had met. And that was another shame I had. I had came out as trans when I was younger, but I had so much bad experiences relating to it that I just took it back and was like, it's easier to just identify as a woman, and and just go that route. When in reality I am agender, but I did come out with like I had a whole different name I went by in high school and etc. But they really just created this space it's where you knew that the moment you walk in, you're going to be accepted as you are and you're going to be loved. And they had such a heavy vetting system to where you did feel safe. And there was only 2 times when I even had a negative experience regarding a man unconsensually trying to touch me, etc. But that had more so to do with in regards to me not knowing how to say no and not still struggling with being a people pleaser, like I had explained earlier. And at the end of the day, when I did bring it up to Divine, I mean, they did do what they could. Also, me being late diagnosed autistic and no one really knowing, I feel like a lot of people don't really understand. Like they'll see you are able to express yourself, and they think that it would be easy for you to do certain things, and so if you have trouble saying no, you're always going to come across people who are willing to challenge that, and see how nice of a person you are. And that's why it was a me thing, and it had nothing to do with the actual place, because that just happens on a regular for me, unfortunately. But I was able to really find myself. And not only that, but I met so many people who made me realize that it's okay to be a sexual being. And not only that, but I can educate people with, there's so many different career opportunities for me, and something that I love and that I was made to feel ashamed for, regarding being someone who loves sexual education and loves different forms of mental health regarding being able to sexually express yourself, or through movement and through other creative venues. I was able to meet people who made me realize and see myself that I am more than um, the limited beliefs I grew up with, or the narratives that my family tried to place on me, and that I am more of love and acceptance, and to be seen, and that there is a family out there for me. There is a community out there for me. It's not a dream. It's not a dream. The amount of people who have laughed at me of believing that I would meet the people who I've met and just adored and loved, and who made me feel accepted. It's crazy. And I was actually going through a domestic violent relationship at the time when I was even going there. And that was something that really definitely did make it hard for me to be able to step out of my comfort zone. And a lot of people see me as bold, but I mean, it's half the time it's just me being me. But they really had actually gave me the power of seeing what is possible for my life if I no longer let other people define my worth. And they actually, honestly, that whole experience helped me get out of my domestic violent relationship, and helped me stand up for myself and say, no, this is not okay. You know, this is what I want. And just in general, just be able to speak up for myself, and fight fight for my fucking life, fight for my decision to want better for myself, and be able to kick his ass out of my life and fucking find so much fucking happiness and peace even through the struggle. And that's in regards to so much. It was like I've never been in a safe space before. I can definitely say that. Also, I'm a huge observer, and being able to just witness the ways that people loved each other, like people feeling free to cry and being embraced, and just the way people's interactions were, it was so amazing to see, and just be able to experience a type of love that I had never seen before. As a Black presenting woman who is part of the LGBT community in multiple ways, part of the asexual community and the trans community, and you know what I mean, my sexuality. So it's hard to find a safe space, and that was my safe space, and I'm looking forward to any safe space that they create after that. Like even nearby, a sex store I loved just shut down. Like it's like a lot of these groups, not necessarily even just drama, but like let's say it's drama, money, law. Like it's just like it's here, and then you're always on edge. That's how it was at Sex Down South. I'm always like, is it gonna get shut down? Type shit. Like, just nervous.
Yeah, and like I doubt Sex Down South is going anywhere, because the way that, like, conventions, Atlanta's a convention hub. Mm-hmm. Like Frolicon is huge. So like if Frolicon's still around, Sex Down South's still gonna be around. I'm not worried about them going anywhere.
Plus Sex Down South, they do more than just that. Like they have been going to different cities and stuff too. So
that's true.
I don't think that's gonna close down anytime
soon. No. No. More so thinking of like local, like things you can go to on a monthly basis. That's more what I was thinking of. Because like, yeah, there's yearly events, and I feel like the yearly events are nowhere near as in danger of like getting yeah.
Something like that similar in Denver. It's called actually Denver Freaks. Real simple. But it's like a membership program. It's like a membership. You have to become a member to like buy it. They have play parties. They have a house downtown in Denver, like right next to the art museum. There's this little unsuspecting house, and it's like all boarded up, and They have play parties usually like 2 or 3 times a month, but it's a mixed crowd. It's mostly white people. There's usually like there's like a little black group within that group that I'm usually a part of. But it's a very safe space. Like they are on it all the time. I remember I had one bad experience there, with an individual who was upset with me. We had agreed that he was going to finger me and he was going to eat me out. And some other person who I was playing with previously walked up to me while this was happening and asked me for my number. I enjoyed playing with him, so I gave him my number. The dude who was down below was like, I want your number too. And I was like, no, just keep going and do what you do. And he felt some type of way about that. He was very upset. And he started to angry finger me and he cut me. Ooh. Yeah.
No,
and sorry. I have never seen that man again. Listen, he was gone. They were like, that's it. You're done. You're done. You're done. Bye. That's
because
it.
first of all, this could be your audition for potentially getting my number, and this is what you're doing. Number one, exactly. And two, just because we playing now doesn't mean that I want to play with you in 5 minutes. Like, what are we talking about?
Exactly. They checked in on me. The person who organizes the events there, he was I mean, and we're good friends. Like every time I come, he's like checking up on me. How you doing, boo? Like, and he's like a gay white man. Like, but like always has been very respectful, making sure that things are safe. But that's really like the only space. I would say there are some black spaces, but they're not always. They're just it's hard. It's hard to get participation. Black community's small. Everybody wants to, like. So it's hard. So you end up having to end up in spaces that have white people.
So quick question. So everyone shout out like different short phrases or words of what you think would make somewhere a safe space for you to enjoy yourself in the kink community. Like one thing I was gonna say is vetting. Yeah. And making sure that there's like a 2-strike rule or something like that, basically.
Sober space, making sure that if people are drinking, or rather just don't, with kink things, I feel like if you need to drink to do the thing, maybe you're not ready to do the thing.
Hear me out. Yes. And then again, you don't want, if you're in charge, you don't want someone coming to you, oh, we were both drunk, or I was drunk, they weren't. It's like,
like breathalyzer at the door.
yeah. You can't tell.
For me, definitely having some kind of price component to it. Like, yeah, I do enjoy a free event every now and again, but not saying that it has to be expensive. Definitely want it to be something that's affordable, but having membership is ideal because I don't mind paying monthly for access to a building to do the things that I want to do to play with other people. But also having that price there limits access to those who may want to utilize that space to take advantage of you or take advantage of the people that's there because I'm making some kind of financial commitment. I'm not always going to be willing to do that if you're like predatory. Now, if you have the funds, that's a little bit different because we know money and power and how that dynamic works out. But for the most part, it does limit the amount of trauma that some people may experience just for it being like a free event where anybody can have access and there is no proper vetting on who's occupying these spaces.
I feel like Sex Down South does a really good job of doing that. With them,
I would say also,
I'm like, yeah, you have to be actually into learning and being in the community, which is really good because
I would say also having some sort of like public health, like Denver Freaks, they have stations, they have condom stations, they have lube stations in every room. They like got those little, little pockets. They have everything that you need. They have trash cans. They have a rule, like if you use a condom, you throw it in the trash can. If we see you put it on the floor, you're out. That's it. One strike and you're gone. Like those types of things, I think they weed out the people who don't need to be in those spaces and that make spaces unsafe. So I would say just having like a general public health policy, like using a condom, throw it in the trash. They have like you said, like they have clean linens, like in the play parties that you were talking about. They have clean linens, they have dirty linens, they have like a little dirty laundry basket for like, when you're done, you can clean yourself up and there's laundry. They have security with headsets so that like if something happens, I know two of the security guards there. I know their names personally. So I don't always feel safe in those spaces. And that's really important to me.
Yeah. I was gonna say security too, because even at the play party, like the events that I go to, like you're saying, I like that they're very much conscious. Like they give you a tour, like if that's your first time at that house, like after you've gone through your vetting and stuff, when they give you the tour of the house, they say, these are the 4 rooms. This one is specifically dedicated to like when we have someone coming in for demonstrations and stuff, like that's what this room is for specifically. But again, like if you're playing on the bed, you strip the bed, put some new linens on, dirty, clean, here you go. And I mean, why they don't necessarily have stations, like there's always like a table in every room that they have condoms and lube and like mints and stuff, but they tell you ahead of time, like you're responsible for bringing your own contraceptives, especially if there's like a brand or something that you prefer, you're responsible for bringing your own. However, if you weren't planning to do anything, at least we got a little something here for you, right? And they do events with like our community, what is it, CAN community, that does like free STI and HIV testing every quarter or so. But I mean, I think I would agree more as well as far as like having security there, like someone who's more than one person, like active security, because even though at our events, like it's 420 friendly and you can drink and stuff, nine times out of 10, the people that I see that are drinking and smoking, they're typically not going to go play and engage. However, I would much rather, like Nova said, like I would much rather like this is a sober event, unless you are going to just come to just chill and maybe even watch or something like that. Like your place is outside. Backyard is big enough. There's plenty going on outside. If you're going to be inside is for people who are literally going to play type thing. So I think for me that would probably be safer. Like I feel safe in the space that I'm into, and everybody's been really good from what I've seen. Everybody's been really good with like, hey, watch out for this person, or hey, someone told me about XYZ person and now they're not in the group chat anymore, and now they're not allowed to come to events anymore and things like that, which is great. But again, like you never know what could happen. Somebody decides to bring that one friend who wasn't a part of this, or who is like, this is their first time at an event, and they might be the one who's wilding. So, I think security all around would be the best for sure.
And the vetting process would still help that, or the rules, regarding what's going on. And especially there being like different people mentioned, what is it? I forgot what apps specifically, but there are different apps where we communicate through groups so that
Telegram.
Close, so that we're getting closer to each other. We feel safe. That way we can ask, who is that? What's going on here, etc. I will definitely say having access to food and water, I think is so important. I do think there should be free water, for being honest, at kink events, but I mean, depending on how big it is, but some type of access to low cost food and water for those who, maybe you did participate in something that was very strenuous, but you don't have $20, for a meal or something like that. Did anyone have any turn-ons that they didn't think they would have? Like, did they find any new ones at Sex Down South?
Yes. Really quick. I was in the electro play class, and I had only tampered with it a tiny bit in the past, and it was too scary at the time. I was like, it's bitey, don't like. But my pain tolerance is higher now, so I tried it again. A little bit, and I was like, this could be something I like to do. So I'm excited to maybe try that.
Okay. I'm gonna contact you then because I am trying to. It'll be next year though, but I am trying to get the wand, and I want to learn how to like be more of a demonstrator and like top, but I'm more of a service top, so it's not because being switch and stuff. But
Oh yeah, I'm a switch too, so I understand.
I didn't think that I'd be as turned on as I was here in the whip crack. Now, I want it on me, but witnessing it, I was like, hold up. That boy was like, we can keep watching this. And also, if you all were in the labyrinth and saw the silhouette room, that was also a good turn on. I personally, I already found that arousing, but just to see it and I'm not a part of it, I was just like, ooh. Yeah, so those two things definitely turn me on.
And then one more before we get out.
I have a shady question. Was it the cracking the whip or the person cracking the whip?
Ooh.
Got the hell up. What we're not going to do is attack me. It was both.
I feel you. I didn't even think. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
I do want to say before we go, one criticism that I do have about the Kink Olympics is I think that the endurance portion probably should have come at the last, like at the end, instead of the I think it was the intensity of impact. I feel like the intensity of impact should have come first and then endurance.
Yeah. I was the same. Yeah.
The sequence of that seemed like not like it didn't make sense.
It should have definitely been sooner too. And I do think they should have been able to think that there are going to be two brats who will not say anything. Who's keep going? You need water, peace. I mean, but I think they know now. But it's more like you gotta. There's some. Come on. I'm not.
Yeah, I think it would be cool too if they would have started the endurance part in the beginning and just say like, let's see, like we're gonna keep them over here in the corner, and let's see how that goes while we continue everything else up. And of course, if you got someone who's like moaning in the middle, be like, oh,
it makes sense. Yeah,
because it could be just so that we can see how long that can go. Yeah. Because if they're done wrapping up everything else and then these two people are still going, you're just like, well, damn, they really do have the endurance. Let's see how much longer they're going to go. And it won't be so much like, damn, I'm not going to stay here this long for this, you know?
So, until 5 a.m.
Right. And I was going to say, if they're going to require bottoms to participate in both, they need to smush them things together so that you can ride the adrenaline all the way through. At least for me.
That's true.
No break in between. I didn't need a break. Personally, I didn't need a break, but like, maybe 5 minutes, but like not 30, 45 minute.
Yeah.
And also make sure the aftercare is on deck, because I don't feel like, and I think it's just because it went so long that we pretty much had to make our own like aftercare. Is this room open, blah blah. And I'm so glad that you guys were able to get that, but like that should have been something like, it doesn't matter how long this goes on, aftercare is very vital and important, and everybody needs to be able to have access to that for whatever length of time that it needs to happen. So I think that is something that was overlooked.
Like maybe a little area within that room.
Or the next room, because they have that one cuddle room, right? So they could have kept that open and have somebody in there for that. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.